and today we're going to talk about writer's block, and specifically how to move past it. Now, I've written essays in school, of course. I've written professionally for many different companies with deadlines, corporate deadlines that I would be in trouble with if I didn't finish writing. And I've written books, entire books, and where I set a deadline for myself. I said this needs to be done in 6 months, and pulled it off. Here's how you beat writer's block in a effective way, even in the worst situations. So your first question that you ask yourself is, how long is the thing that I need? So it could be anything. It can be the whole essay. Maybe you haven't even started an essay. Or maybe it can be one scene. In my case, it's often like one scene that I haven't written yet in a book. So it's like I have a really strong scene, and then something happens, and I know that I need like some things to happen, and then I have strong things after that as well. So like I need to build the connectors. So the first thing is very easy. Don't panic. Just how long does it need to be? Let's say, and for this example, just to keep it simple, as I walk you through this system, it's going to be a 500-word little block. Just we're writing a quick scene in a chapter of a book. So it's 500 words. Done. We've defined how long it needs to be. Now define how much ground needs to be covered in that space. So exactly like I said in my example, where we have chapter, say, 1 and we have chapter 3, and we know that things have to happen in between. For this example, we're saying 500 words, so let's make it smaller than that. Let's say that the chapter is moving along, and then you need a character somewhere, and you need to introduce like an item or something. For the sake of this example, we'll say 3 things need to happen, and there is also some important dialogue that you need to cover. Like the characters need to say certain things to each other. Okay, so now we've defined how long it is, 500 words, and what kind of ground needs to be covered. 3 things and a amount of dialogue. That will usually be enough for me, at least, to like get started and just kind of jump in. If it's not, in any situation, let's say again, like you're writing an essay for school and you haven't even started, if that's still overwhelming or you don't know where to start, just subdivide. So in this example, I've already defined how much ground needs to be covered. These are a bullet list. These are the things that I'm going to have to talk about somehow. And it's got to be 500 words. So just divide that into 5 tinier assignments. You just have to do 100 words. The average sentence that I write, I think, is like 20 to 25 words. So 100 words is like 4 sentences. You can do 4 sentences, especially with a specific prompt. So 5 100-word bullet points. It's very easy. Anybody can do that. You would think. I know it's not that easy, but I'm just trying to motivate you. And we know 3 things need to happen, and we need some dialogue. So we can just do some basic math. We say, okay, thing 1, I have a budget of 100 words. I get 4 sentences for thing 1. And then thing 2 and 3, let's space those out. Maybe if you want for this scene. So you'll say, I'm going to do half of the dialogue I need to cover after we cover thing 1. That'll be the second 100-word bullet point. Then we cover thing 2, that's 100 words. Then we finish the dialogue, that's 100 words. Then we cover thing 3, and that's a 500-word block of text right there that covers everything you need to talk about. And from there, so the other thing is that, the Greeks said, write drunk and edit sober, or possibly the Romans. Don't leave it in the comments if I got the source of that quote wrong. But so the point being, I'm not actually literally encouraging you to get drunk, of course, but the point being that I describe it as like just vomit out your first idea. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a gross analogy, but that's honestly how you do it. That's what you have to do. So now that you've subdefined your tasks so small, 5 100-word bullet points, you have to start writing. That's the point you have, and it doesn't have to be good. That's the nice thing about this, is that you're going to be done so quickly with those 5 bullet points that even if you hate it, which doesn't usually happen for me at least, even if you hate it, you can just try again. And then I don't think I've ever failed to write a scene more than twice of this size, of like a little block of text or something like that. You'll get it on the second try, and it's a pretty fast system once you get used to it. But in most cases, you're going to be hard on yourself. You're going to be shy and feel like, oh, I don't know what to say. But when you break it down even to the sentence or paragraph level, and you make prompts for yourself. That's the thing. You have to know what to cover. And so, if you haven't started your essay and you're thinking to yourself, like, this doesn't help because I literally have no idea what I'm going to talk about, then we circle back to a research phase. You have to learn more about this and get ideas, start jotting down what you might talk about. And then you can prioritize those and start the system again. Once you have the bullet points, once you have the ideas and text amounts, it's hard to truly get stuck. And then after that, in most cases, you're going to be very actually pleasantly surprised with the quality of what you've written, because it was structured, it was organized, and then you wrote off the top of your dome, like I said, I need to think, leave in the comments if you can think of a better analogy for what I'm trying to describe. If you write, and you know what I'm talking about, where you just force yourself, you vomit out the first thing, like blurt it out, I guess. Blurt out the first thing on that topic. You will actually probably be surprised in a good way with how much you like it. And then you have all the time in the world because you've saved time. You've gotten this writing that you've been procrastinating and you're stuck on. Now it's done in a rough draft. And you have all the time in the world to just lovingly kind of sculpt it and make it perfect. And like I said, again, if you really hate what you wrote, then just try again. But as long as you have something passable, you can shape it up until it's something you're proud of. And that, again, guys, I'm not just talking theoretically. I have written ads, technical papers, books, short stories, poems, like lots of stuff. I've written, scripts for these videos. Perfection is the enemy of good, and that's where a lot of people get stuck. But if you just sit down and you force yourself to get started on a very manageable task, like I said, subdivide as much as you need. Say, I have no idea what this. So let me think off the top of my head, just to show I can improvise in this way. Let's say, hypothetically, I have a biology essay. I haven't even studied, but it's about koala bears, and that's actually a good example because I don't know that much about them. I would say, okay, I need, let's say, 50,000 words. And this is going to show that I'm bad at math if I get this math wrong. But I'll say, well, it's a school essay. I'll probably need an intro and a conclusion, just like, I'll save that for later, but we'll mark those as bullet points as like 1/5 of the text allotment and 1/5 of the text allotment for the conclusion. Again, I think when I was in school, that was the most traditional way to write an essay, but just as an example. And then the 3 paragraphs, I'm going to need to bring some heat, something juicy about koalas. So I don't know, like how they live, how they love, how they laugh. No, if I was really being serious for a biology essay, I would probably talk about their behavior, their minds, and how, if they form any kind of like cultural or society interactions, how they interact with each other, how they breed, and then like anatomy and diet. Those could be 2, but maybe with, behavior. I guess you could do like, anyway, but the point is, I'm just thinking out loud. Find yourself just 3 bullet points that make sense, and there's your essay. We're going to do an intro and conclusion that we'll plan later after we have a better sense of what this koala thing is about. And we have 3 areas of investigation, and we're just going to make bullet points until we feel ready. And we're like, oh, this is 4 sentences about a koala's ears. I can do that. And then just jump in. And it's if you can have that small amount of discipline to just follow this system. Like I said, I am fastidious about deadlines. If I've ever I don't think I've ever missed a professional deadline in my life. And you can hold me to that. I am really meticulous, and this is how I do it. So I hope that helps somebody. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. If you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me create videos, more content like this. It's how I explain to my wife why I'm, editing, taking time out of each day to edit these up. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Leave in the comments if you have any ideas for future topics I can cover. If you have any questions, I'll answer you right in the comments, and I will, if it's a good video topic, I'll do a whole video about it. So yeah, thanks again, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'd also like to really thank my patrons on Patreon. Patreon makes creative work feasible and possible for a lot of artists. My own link is right in the description of this video. My creative levels would really be not where they are without my patrons. So thank you guys so much. Thanks to each of you for everything.